You're not doing no videos tonight. You're not doing no videos tonight. You're not doing no videos tonight. Yeah, thanks for that, Sonny. I am doing a video today. Yeah, and it's going to be on you, blood. Yeah, so, I mean, it's not a long video. There's not much to say, really. But everybody knows Sonny Ed was very vocal, if that fits, on Twitter. He's very loud, you know. He likes to consider himself, right, the moral compass that everyone should follow. And to be fair to him, he can be quite based. He calls out certain people's certain actions. He refused the jibber jabber, so I respect him a lot for that. And Sonny can be based. He can be based. He can also be a terrible hypocrite. You know, when it suits him, you know, he'll back parts of the NWO and Illuminati plans, like the clergy plan. Now, of course, he backs a clergy plan because he likes brown pum pum. So he wants brown women to come here. And he will, you know, like a lot of these people, they will take a stance. This is good. The other is bad. And they won't move from it. Whatever evidence they read, they won't reconsider it. And they will use confirmation bias and pick all the evidence they can to back them and not look at the opposing evidence, if that makes sense. A lot of people are like this. They're ruled by confirmation bias. They think, oh, this person, they think life's like Star Wars. Oh, these are the baddies and these are the goodies. Anything that the goodies do is good. Anything the baddies do is bad. You know, there's people who won't criticize. But, you know, there's a good Sonny, like I say, a base Sonny, and he's been coming out a bit. He's been coming out a bit recently. Or in regards to the clergy plan, he picked up some guy who made a post saying that there's been no development, nothing to come out of sub-Saharan Africa ever. Yeah, and according to Sonny, this was because these people respect their environment. They're just happy to live within their environment. I said, he had been to Africa, Sonny. He hasn't. You know, I've never seen a country. I'm sorry, bunch of. I've been to loads of countries there with such a lack of respect for their own environment, for the animals, you know, the wild animals. You know, they'll slaughter these amazing beasts so they can sell their tusks, you know, for a few shekels so they can get an iPhone, stuff like that. And, you know, the early explorers, right, and missionaries are absolutely horrified. They couldn't believe how a little empathy there was. You know, they'd leave a donkey out there, you know, in a boiling heat without any water all day, and they wouldn't even care. They wouldn't even feed it. Stuff like this. And some of the tribesmen would get bored and just decide to torture someone they didn't like, you know, who lived in their tribe, or, you know, for not even any kind of grudge, just out of boredom. So, you know, to Sonny to try and imagine that, these people, they want to live that way because they respect their environment. Well, yeah, whatever, man. Whatever. And yeah, there are tribes that live well with their environment. I mean, they're very primitive, but I don't think it's like some conscious choice, some conscious moral choice. That's just projection. So I pulled Sonny up on this. But the point is, his Twitter's just disappeared completely. He shut it down. He's deleted his whole account. Now, if you know Sonny, he loves Twitter. You know, Sonny's got. I spoke to him after he chilled and he realized he was in big trouble, boy. But because of the phone call, you know, because he didn't realize he was being recorded, and he slagged off Battimans. Again, I got no problem with that. He slagged off autistic people. He slagged off depressed people. I call it people, made fun of them, you know. But I didn't release it because I thought Sonny deserved a chance. And there is a good Sonny there. And what he's been doing now, recently, he's been dropping a lot of so-called controversial tweets. They're not really controversial to me or to anyone with a brain, but you know, people get molded by the media. Oh, you can't say this, you can't say that. This is, and they'll use some kind of made-up term, or they'll coin some term, Islamophobic, or this is racist, or this is, you know, homophobia, or they'll just find some slur to tag you with so that you can stop discussing things, and they'll bring it into law. You know, in law. Okay, an actual British law. If let's say you get in a fight and one of the people is white, and one actually doesn't specify the race, but it says if you have two people, but we know how it's used, right? It's basically used to persecute, you know, native people of Britain. If you get in a fight or you get in an argument, and there is a complaint to the police, and let's say you're an Asian guy, there's been a fight with a white guy, and you complain to the police. If you say, even if no words were used of any racial origin, of any kind of racial flavor. If you, the alleged victim, say, "Oh, I believe he did it because of racial reasons," without any proof, it's automatically a racial attack, which carries a much heavier sentence. I mean, these, and this is done basically, as I said, to spread, multiracialism, multiculturalism in white countries only. These laws don't apply outside. It's only Western, a majority white countries that are being told constantly, we need this, we need this, we need immigration, we need multiculturalism, we need this. It's not other countries. They're not trying to fill other countries. They're not trying to fill Ghana full of Chinese people, are they? I mean, they will. Actually, there's plenty of Chinese people in Africa, but that's business reasons. But what I mean is, it's well known. There are brochures on it. There are books on it. The most well known, obviously, is a clergy plan, which says we're going to get all of Europe. We're going to mix the people up so that they have... And the reason they do this, they want there to be no nationalism, no unity, no cohesion. They say themselves, we want a mongrel country which can be... And people can be divided against each other, right? And they can be easily ruled over. I mean, they've said this, but apparently, if you look at Wiki, it's apparently white supremacist, anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, even though... And it's based on this line that Kudenov clergy said, and then they quote him. And it quite blatantly says what they want to do. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? And I'm going off on a tangent here. Let's get back to Sonny Edwards. Sonny Edwards. So Sonny, obviously, he supports multiculturalism, multiracialism, but his family is mixed now, so I know, I can get that. But he's also... he doesn't like any attacks on the Islamic community, if there's such a thing, And there's no such thing as an Islamic community. I mean, that's another misnomer. People always think, oh, the black community, this community, that community, the Asian community. There's no such thing as a unified Asian community, a unified black community, a unified Islamic community. Yeah? People come from different countries, they're different sects. It's just another... and I'm not even going to use the word liberal because that's a misnomer, but it's just another false narrative to peddle division, to persecute people for speaking their minds. If you say you're against immigration and multiculturalism, you think that people, countries just remain homogeneous. You're awful. You're a racist now. It's pathetic. Or if you don't agree with batty business because, it's not a healthy life. Oh, you're a terrible person. I mean, it's just nonsense. But Sonny, so that's whatever. That's Sonny. He's based about some stuff, and other stuff he's totally NWO. And by the way, it's important to note this. I made a video on it, I don't know, a couple of years ago. He's flashed signals. He's flashed the 6, 6. 6 symbol, they do all the time. And I made a video on this. So he's a bit, listen, man, people say, oh, he's too irrelevant, Sonny, to be controlled by them. They can't micromanage everything, but what they've done, I mean, even Shave on C4 Clark was flashing the signal blatantly, and the one-eye thing, They want to get everyone, But for however little influence, they have some influence. But so Sonny is obviously... So you're like, well, why is Sonny suspended his account? And he's put his other one on private. What's it called? Instagram. So he's been dropping some red pills, about, about Isa, yeah, and Palestine, yeah. I don't agree with everything he says, but he has spoken up. He's spoken up about NWO plans to divide people, even though he actually partakes in that himself. I don't know whether he's naive or he knows he has to stay away from certain subjects, but he started to speak up a bit. And this is happening a lot on Twitter especially. People are speaking up a bit. And I'll come to why that is. They're allowing this later. But Sonny's been dropping a lot of anti-Isa posts and also stuff against the jibber-jabber. The jibber-jabber ding-dong, which he doesn't take, which I respect. That's what I respect about him the most. And the fact he's quite a courageous guy, He actually came on the show. He gave me £80 too. Well, tried to bribe me, but that's okay. I don't mind. I'll have a bribe. I won't be bribed, but I'll accept your cash money. You know what I'm saying? But So Sonny's been speaking out a lot, and I look back trying to find if any of these tweets have been saved. I can't find it at the moment. It's not really that important, but it's mainly against Isa, okay? and the plan of the NWA to divide people and make them hate each other and blah blah, which he's kind of a part of. So it's kind of ironic, but yeah. And suddenly, the most well-known Twitter account in boxing, the most vocal one. He also said something, didn't he? He don't sleep a lot. Yeah, he says he has ADHD, whatever that means, but he certainly has a lot of energy, and is always, he says he sleeps only 3 hours a night, and he writes a lot of tweets, and so for him to take something down like that, you got to think, what's happened now? I didn't see anything super controversial that he wrote, right? I didn't see. There may be something. Obviously, I'm not checking every single tweet, right? There may be something there, but he hasn't had the account suspended by Twitter. He's closed it down himself. He's decided to close it down, rather than delete tweets. By the way, which is obviously very simple. He's closed down something that has been a big part of his life. So what's happened? Well, this is my theory, right? Like I said, I did a video on how he flashes symbols. He's obviously bought to some extent. I think you have to be now. If you're any kind of actor, professional sportsman, entertainment. Yeah. And I'll let people have a voice, by the way, who are supposedly controversial. People like Russell Brand or Tommy Yaxley Lennon Robinson, who had just bought assets, right? And I think that's what Sonny is. He will speak some. That's why controlled opposition is very clever. They will allow you to say some base stuff, right? People also say Alex Jones, David Icke, they're all bought. They'll say some base stuff, right? But they'll also not touch certain subjects. They'll never touch why. Who are doing this to us? Why they're doing it to us? Manipulating the people in a certain manner. They will never touch that, right? And they certainly can't call certain peeps out. Yeah. And they will never allow any of these guys to say, how do we change this? How do we overthrow the system? They will never say that. All they'll do is complain. What's the other one? John Paul. What's that guy called? John Paul or whatever his name is. He's the one who goes, let that sink in. That posh, fruity guy. He's another one. Perfect controlled opposition. They'll complain about individual aspects and concentrate on detail. They will not call out the bigger picture. So I think that's probably happened to Sonny. He's been told by his handler or someone like, Sonny, man, take that stuff down. You're stepping out of line, boy. Bad stuff's going to happen. How do they get people? They buy them and threaten. Or threaten them, or usually both. Here we go. Look, you can have this fight. You can have, you will get press. You'll be talked about. But don't go too far, and you'll be rewarded in that way with cash money. But don't step out of line, man. Bad things can happen. You got family. You got a living to make. This kind of thing. There's a famous tweet, what's it called? Kanye West, who's another controlled opposition guy, but maybe he tried to step out, but it's too late for him. And he had some handler who was, he's Iza. And I think he was in the army or the IDF, or I don't know, man, Mossad, and he's supposedly a fitness trainer, but he sent and Kanye actually put this up. He sent a large WhatsApp saying, "Look, remember what happened last time? You stepped out of line." Because at some concert he'd started yelling about the Illuminati and stuff, and 24 hours later he was sectioned. He goes, "Remember what happened last time? We will grab you, we will fill you with medication," and this is how they do it. Yeah, and you'll be taken down, so be careful. So they imply things, and if you really do step out of line, bad things will happen. Big cases like Mark Dutroux. People like that. A lot of alleged suicides. Hillary's laptop. A lot of people died, mysterious circumstances, and what is the guy who revealed the weapons of mass destruction dossier, right? What's his name? Dr. Kelly. Yeah, he died allegedly of suicide with superficial wounds, and he was found. Yeah, very, very bizarre. So I think that's what's happened. Someone's had a word with Sonny going, "You're stepping out of line. You're going beyond your brief. You're going to get in big trouble, boy. You're going to get in big trouble, boy. Take that down." And so now he's deleted his whole account. He's shook now because and that's fine, because it doesn't matter how courageous you are. You know, when it comes to protecting your family and your own life, and you're just an individual, basically, you ain't got a chance, bro. So, you know, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. But it looks that to be the case. He's been told, you're stepping out of line, boy. You're getting in deep waters. You're getting in trouble. You're going down that quicksand, boy. And he shot himself. And as I said, Sonny's quite a courageous guy. So, and I of course, I understand that. And he's just closed his entire, rather than just delete tweets, because there's probably so many, just closed his entire account down, shut it down, which is very surprising for a guy who lives on Twitter. So there you go, man. There you go. There you go. And yeah, I back Sonny. I back Sonny because I think he's foolish on some things, but he's quite based, and he's quite a courageous guy to speak up. But you know, he's realized he's been compromised. I wonder he'll probably have to do some humiliation ritual now, some kind of embarrassment. You know, he'll have to back some, I don't know, sickness, right? And you know, he was doing that anyway, because that's what controlled opposition do. You know, they back certain things, they're based on certain things, and then morons on others, liberals, which is a misnomer, on other things. You know, because remember, he used to be really anti-Islamophobia and pro-multiculturalism. So he was all pro that, but he stepped too far. He was too anti-Isra. He took it too far. And now he's had to close his account. So yeah, you know, I hope Sonny's okay. I genuinely believe that he misguided in some ways, but his heart is fairly decent. You know, when he's not being a bit bitter. And you know, he got family to look after himself. So I understand. But yeah, he's taken down, man, for stepping out of line. And I think there will be a humiliation ritual. He's fighting soon as well. Who is it? Like Edwin Correa or someone? Some guy who held the title very briefly. But, I mean, a non-title fight. He's fighting in the US on Bam Rodriguez undercard. So, you know, he's got to... I guess he can be concentrating on that. We'll see what happens. Watch this space. Anyway, guys, yeah. I say all the time, peace in the Middle East. Well, we know it ain't going to happen. There'll be a fake peace in the Middle East when the Antichrist comes. There'll be a fake peace in the Middle East orchestrated by... the Antichrist. But until then, people will war, and it will be the end times. And actually, Sonny did say this, actually. One of his tweets, I remember specifically, he goes, we're headed to the end times. We're headed to the end times. And Sonny's right in that. But he still needs to... he needs to recognize more information and more truth and more reality. Yeah. Because it's all coming down. Peace, everybody.